Probably the biggest thing we got out of working with the Indian Army and Exercise UTABAS was just the relationships that were built between the Indian Special Forces and our ODA. And this exercise will help us in future deployments to be more proficient in what we do there. Helps us understand the culture of other nations better, helps us work with different militaries, different levels of understanding and education, different levels of training. The Indian Army is very well trained, much more so than other nations we worked with in the past. So this was a good experience to not start from square one, but to build on common knowledge and enhance the training we did.
We started with familiarization with small weapons, such as the M4. They could see how easily you can deploy the AT4 in a short amount of time, how portable it is, and the effectiveness of the weapon system. So we did an instructional period that led up essentially towards mount operations, urban assault, things of that nature. Same thing we put ourselves through when we're training for mount or urban operations, we did with them. They infilled in their assault teams on the helos onto an LZ that was nearby the actual objective, offloaded the helos, rallied, moved to the objective, assaulted it using explosive breaching, and then rescued a hostage, and then exfilled on the same platform. The helicopter infill, we added that in because that's a efficient way of infilling soldiers from long distances or across rugged terrain that may be impassable by foot or vehicle, or at least exceptionally time consuming. It allows a lot faster response time.
These guys are soldiers. They do things sometimes completely opposite of the way we do it, but it's still fun. These guys, 20, 25 years experience in the Indian Army, Paratrooper Special Forces, been on amazing deployments other countries. When you get into some heavier situations involving combat, life or death, knowing that the guy on your left and right is not only competent, but wants to see you live and succeed. And they start telling stories, we start telling stories from Iraq, Afghanistan. It's like, that's where the bonds came from. It's like meeting another man who's exactly like you from a completely different nationality.
I think the bonds that we forged with the special operations soldiers from India are what we will all take away from this as being the number one priority.
There's a mindset out there that says because you put on $2 worth of Velcro, or you put on a Green Beret, or you go to Iraq or Afghanistan a couple of times, that all of a sudden you've reached the level of war god and you can do no wrong. And, within the first 2 to 3 days, we were learning new tactics that were just, I personally never would have thought of, and in some ways they were better than ours. And so you pull from that, and just having an open mind and saying to yourself, what, I'm not perfect, and there are people out there that are better than me, including my enemy. And it's like, what can I learn today?